when we first saw the raft, we saw the smoke, we saw the boat, obviously, it was overturned. Um, there was the 4 people, they were on top of the boat, they ended up not going into the raft. It was pretty far away too, but yeah, so when we pulled up, we were pretty excited to see them still on the boat.
How long had you been searching for at that point?
So the airplane, the fixed wing, and the helos had been searching for 20 plus hours. We had only just been given a lat long, so we ended up just driving straight off where close or Clearwater 1 and finding them probably 30 nautical miles out.
When you hear, 20 plus hours of searching for 4 missing boaters, one's 90 years old, do you think you're going to have a positive outcome, or what goes through your mind when you're out there?
Honestly, we were a little worried. We always think of the worst possible outcome, or not outcome, but case that could happen. So we had different fail-safes into what we were going to do, what we could do if something didn't work, how we were going to work through it, different things like that.
So who spotted the boat, and would you say, and then just walk us through, what the boaters were like when you rescued them?
We all kind of saw him at the same time. Me and BM2 Will Hoyt, we were up in the front, so we saw him first. We saw the fixed wing first, and then after a while, probably like 5 nautical miles after, that's when we saw the smoke. After the smoke, we saw the boaters. There was 4 of them. The 90-year-old man, he was on the outside. We were worried about him. We were very happy that everyone was still doing okay. We ended up pulling alongside him so that we could just pick him up from the boat. The catamaran was pretty much fully underwater, so the fact that it was still above water was pretty great. So we just came alongside, picked him up, got him all on the boat, got him warm towels, got them electrolytes, water.
And it's amazing, and on any day, but especially right before Thanksgiving, how much more, I guess, meaningful or a miracle really is this?
It's pretty cool. I mean, we don't usually get to do this, but this is our main part of our job. Like, we train all the time, but being able to actually do the job is our favorite part.
And what was it like when they stepped onto that boat and you were able to make contact with them? I mean, can you share kind of what their reaction or what they said to you?
Yeah, I think their first words were thank you to all of us. And obviously to us, just in the moment, we're not really thinking about like what people are saying. We're just trying to get them on the boat. But it is really cool having people like actually say thank you and like be grateful.
I know it's all part of the job, but this is probably the best outcome you could ever possibly have. Does that make you feel pretty good?
Oh yeah, this is a great day.
The family, your worry isn't about the family that's worrying back on shore. You're worried about what's going on in the water, but those are some really difficult hours for family members to wait on that. And when you see the family members approach your boat when you get back here, what's that like to see that, that outcome not only is positive, but those that have been waiting are now reunited?
Yes, sir. It's definitely a cool feeling. We turned the corner and we were kind of hauling in, and we turned the corner and we're like, oh my gosh, there's so many people. And we have such a small station, so seeing that many people in cars, it was like, oh my gosh. But it was definitely really cool, and seeing everyone and all the family members up there just kind of hanging out in our like volleyball pit area it was nice.
What were their conditions? Sunburn, windburn, dehydrated? What did they look like?
They were cold. They had hypothermia for sure. They were shivering. Being out in the water that long, all that water sucks out the warmth out of your body. I think the older man had some lacerations. My guys on the back deck, they bandaged him up, got him some water, put a lot of warm stuff on him, had to take off the wet clothes for everybody just to make sure that they weren't staying cold.
I just have one more question. The design of that boat, I mean, I'm assuming that all boats don't stay afloat like that they were all able to kind of stay on there for that many hours. Are you able to speak to that?
Honestly, I was a little surprised that it was still up. That's a great boat that it stayed up that long. I mean, catamarans are really great boats anyways, but yeah, they are lucky. That was...
Can you talk about just in general, I know obviously the holiday, it's still good outside, but people maybe hitting the water, what people should take into consideration when they go out, whether it's radio, flares, what will help you guys, maybe do less rescue?
Definitely when you go out, make sure you have a float plan, make sure like your family knows where you're going. Like, if you can give them a specific area, like there's St. Martin's Reef just off the coast, so like that's a really cool spot for fishing, and like it gives your family like a position or like a semi-location of where you might be, or having an EPIRB or like a digital selective calling on your radio, making sure you have a radio, making sure your phone's charged, food, water, all that good stuff. I mean, you never know it's going to be your worst day until it is.
Is there any indication of what caused this? They said, make sure they know that we caught a shark and it pulled, but I don't know if that's what caused it or if you know yet.
I think they were just taking on water and they were trying to fix it with their bilge pumps, and it just wasn't
Talk
working.
about that float kayak. It sounds like they had one, and it was the quick action of their loved ones calling right away, reporting that they weren't back.
It was. Their family definitely were one of the main factors of having them be found, because they knew in the like direct vicinity of where they were going to be. So even if they weren't specific, they had a general idea, which definitely helped.
Everything on that boat, according to that family, was lost. And your cell phone goes, your radio goes. Talk about the importance of the EPIRB. It is, people look at that dollar cost, but they'll spend a lot of money on fishing gear, but just talk about the importance of having that.
Yeah, so your EPIRBs are really important. Once they get submerged, they start going off. There's actually two types, but once they start going off, they don't stop going off until they die. And it sends a alarm to us, and it sends a signal with a GPS coordinate, a satellite coordinate with a lat and long, and we'll be able to receive it, and we know exactly where it is.
Right.
So,
Are you able to talk about just how large of a search area you guys were searching, and just how lucky they were to be found?
so this morning, or last night, I guess, it was the helicopters that went out first, and then the fixed wing this morning is actually who found them. But I mean, they were searching the entire Gulf. The fixed wing was the ones that ended up finding the lat and long for us, so that we could just beeline it straight out there.
What's a fixed wing?
A fixed wing is a plane, so it's one of the planes the Coast Guard have. So the helicopters and the regular planes are the two main types.
And then what was the smoke that you were talking about?
The smoke is a type of flare, so the fixed wing, the plane actually dropped it. They also dropped the raft. They can drop other things too. They can drop different types of like dewatering pumps. So we've had other cases where they've dropped a dewatering pump, and they can slowly start dewatering their boat through that.
So the fixed wing found them, dropped the flare and a raft, and gave you guys the coordinates. That's how, and then you go looking for the smoke and all that stuff.
And then
Yes,
you guys
sir.
came on a boat
Yes,
to
sir.
the rescue.
Yep.
Gentlemen, anything you'd like to add? I know she's done a lovely job. No? Okay.
And just with Thanksgiving, I'm pretty much sure that your names will be brought up around at least one Thanksgiving table this year.
Yeah.
Just kind of feel nice, because it is just being appreciated for what you did, because you gave something that you can't really give anybody.
It's a cool thing. I wouldn't have been able to do it without my crew. So